On your first deposit. What are you waiting for?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Flash Speaks back. Philadelphia 76ers just hired Doc Rivers, so you know your boy had to talk about that. Gotta at least say something that just happened today. Listen, I'm elated. I'm happy that the 76ers went and got Doc Rivers. Now I've been hearing some Philadelphia 76ers fans not approving of this selection. I've been hearing it on the radio. You know, the radio's full of clowns. And then on Facebook, you know, some people I respect actually who speak about sports, talking about Doc Rivers had allowed teams to come back down 3-1 and all this other stuff, and 3-2, and didn't win a championship all the time. And I'm like, really? These are the things you're bringing up about Doc Rivers? I hate to tell you, but like Phil Jackson's not available. Greg Popovich is just not available, right? So you're not going to get a guy that's just, Red Auerbach is dead. So you're not going to get like a guy that has this impeccable record, right? Pat Riley's not going to go back into coaching. He's in Miami as a GM and all that, so he's cool, right? So of the people available, let's be real, you got Ty Lue. And you could think whatever you want. I don't know. Maybe you do consider what Ty Lue did with Cleveland to be significant, though he had LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. To me, I don't take anything from that. Ty Lue winning with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. I don't take anything from that. You don't really have to do much, right? Now, the same could be said for Doc Rivers with Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. I guess. But for me, like, I think the LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love thing was with Lue is more telling because, right, before Lue went there, they had David Blatt. David Blatt got them to the finals. Now, I know they got hurt. David Blatt got them to the finals. The next year, they were just primed to really go to the finals anyway. They were going to, like, go regardless. And LeBron wanted a different guy, Ty Lue. Now, why would he want Ty Lue over David Blatt? Is it because Ty Lue knows basketball more than David Blatt? I doubt it. It's more of a interpersonal relationship thing. He also can just do what he wants. Like guys like LeBron, that's what they're looking for. We don't have those types of players on the Sixers. We have Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who are young players who don't really know how to win yet, and are in a situation where they come from a system that didn't have a lot of accountability. They were treated like they were like Kevin Durant and LeBron James before accomplishing anything, and this led to most of the problems that you see with the team, right? So what you need is someone that is older, wiser. For me, I like an old school guy that is going to like instill some discipline, bring some order. Is going to be a voice they have to respect, right? Which is what you didn't really have with Brett Brown. Brett Brown just, coach, you should try to respect because he's your coach. But like for real, I think they thought he was about as idiotic as whoever. So you need a guy that knows how to counter like the Brad Stevenses of the world and the Eric Spoelstras and those types of guys, the Budenholzers and the Nick Nurses of the world, like a guy that can like play the chess game with those guys. I know Doc Rivers has lost, and it doesn't look good with the Clippers, but come on, everybody knows. You have any common sense, you know that's on the Clippers. Losing that, it's on the Clippers, man. Like, most coaches would get eaten up and spit out by that particular locker room. You got Kawhi Leonard, who just won his second title. You have Paul George, who's like, not a superstar, but like a top shelf player. I mean, amongst power forwards, I can't think of small forwards. I mean, I can't think of three better than Paul George, right? So, he's up there, perennial all-star caliber player. And then you have like other guys, man. The Lou Williamses, and we know the roster. I ain't going through it, but that's a roster that's difficult for a lot of people to get. And a lot of times, man, like their expectation to go win a title immediately after putting all these guys together was a bit much. I mean, you look at the talent, you figure they could, but to just like blame Doc Rivers for that, to me, is ridiculous. I don't blame Doc Rivers for that. And then many of those other situations with the Clippers and teams like that, what I saw was a team that constantly got injured. Chris Paul was constantly getting injured. Blake Griffin was constantly getting injured. Like, you have to take those things into consideration. That happens with the Sixers. You have injury. Injury affects things. And to like put that on the coach is ridiculous. Right? He didn't injure those players. So I'm elated. Doc Rivers, I think he was by far clearly the best choice of the guys available. Like, I would have liked Nate McMillan, because I think Nate McMillan is a good basketball mind. His teams play hard for him. I would have liked him. I would have liked Jason Kidd, though I don't know if he was really a realistic candidate. But to me, Jason Kidd could be a guy that could bring Ben Simmons along, being a point guard. And Doc Rivers can do that. He played guard. And he's from my favorite era of basketball, that 90s era, which is real basketball to me. And let me say a little something about that too. This narrative, that in today's NBA, you need a bunch of three-point shooters to win, and this type of team is the prototype that wins now. It's been proven to be false bullshit. If you look at those Lakers right now, you look at that Miami Heat, the Lakers are built in 80s, 90s, 70s style, right? That's a big team. Those guys are big. And even with the argument that, okay, they can shoot threes, who cares? Their bread and butter is getting that mid-range in the post, rebounding, playing defense, guarding the hole, right? Guarding the post, that area. This is what makes that team special. They're just too damn big for you. So you come out there with this team that is shooting and all this kind of stuff, and these finesse teams, even when they try to implement a zone, it's not going to work when the team is just too damn big. The Lakers are proving that. Another team that has proven it is the Denver Nuggets, that you can win with a big man. And actually, the big man who's skilled is the best way to build a team. It's the best way. It's been the way since the time of Chamberlain and Russell. It carried on through Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? And then into the 90s, where you got Hakeem Olajuwon and you got the David Robinsons of the world, and even Tim Duncan kept it going, though he plays power forward, but he's like a big, really. The exception to the rule was and is Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan. Though with Isaiah Thomas, you still had the presence of the big men playing the big men. They just were not your primary scorers, right? He still had John Sally, still had Dennis Rodman, still had Bill Laimbeer and Mahorn and those guys who were just doing all the work that a big man does, with the exception of taking on the boatload of scoring, which was done by Dumars and Isaiah. But then when you look at the Bulls are the true exception, where you just didn't have to have the scoring big man, where Michael Jordan was so great. So I say, if you have a Michael Jordan, sure, you can make the two guard, the focal point, the two guard and the three. However, the best way, the most time-tested way to build a team is with a great big man who gets you those points in the post. That's real basketball. It's the best, most effective, time-tested way to build a team. And the Lakers are showing that. And what this is also showing, and how this relates to the Sixers, is Doc Rivers is a guy that I believe, of all the people available, that will know how to maximize the talent of the players we actually have. Not this make-believe idea of what the type of team you should want. A bunch of guys shooting threes everywhere. No, right? Sure, Golden State did that, but you don't have Steph Curry. You don't have Klay Thompson. And honestly, I believe this Lakers team currently, with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, the way they use Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, and and then they have the guards who do their thing off of that, and the IQ of a guy like Rondo mixed with LeBron and so on, would give that Warriors team fits. Even a 72-10 one. Even the one with Kevin Durant. Though that one may win, maybe. But they would give that team fits like all hell. Like, I believe that because teams that gave those Warriors fits were teams that could out-rebound them, that could play defense, that was gritty, that could score in the post. All right? So, listen, I'm glad we got Doc Rivers, man. I think this is a new day. He's going to bring some discipline to the building. Ben Simmons, whether or not he's going to start shooting, hey, look, this is a guy, I'm like this. If Doc can get him to do that, fine. If Doc can find another way, to make Ben Simmons effective without it, fine. If Doc decides, hey, look, I can't work with Ben Simmons and we got to move Ben Simmons, fine. But the point is, we got a real basketball head up in that organization right now who's coaching the team, and whatever he says, I'm with. Till next time, when we talk about them damn Eagles, last bigs. Bye.